Brother Nuri.
Yes, sir.
2016 Savior's Day, the minister, Louis Farrakhan, gives his address to his people. And in that address, he kind of warns, hey, don't go back to the community building basketball courts and think you're doing something for the neighborhood. Yeah. You know, the basketball court is similar, a breeding grounds for a basketball plantation. He goes on to say the evaluation process that happens in sports, you know, owners, general managers, they look at players, oh, this one is strong, this one is swift. They poke and prod.
Yeah.
Is akin to what they used to do to us on the slavery block.
On the auction block, that's right.
So, Brother Nuri, help me. How can sports be akin to slavery if our athletes make hundreds of millions of dollars?
Well, there's a brother that wrote a book some years ago called The $40 Million Slave. I can't remember the name of the author, but in the book, he shows that there is a broad gap between money in your pocket and wisdom inside of your mind. And slavery, by definition, is one that has voluntarily submitted to a so-called superior power and has lost their power of resistance. So when you look at the math by definition, slavery has nothing to do with how much you have in the bank account. You can be a rich slave or a poor slave. You can still be a slave. So whenever the minister highlighted that, he was showing, number one, we've got to have a new definition to what community service is. Community service, we still are using that old, ancient Negro civil rights template for everything we do to fight for freedom, justice, and equality or do for self in our community. So community service means giving blankets out, bottles of water, free food to the homeless, and et cetera. But the real community service, you know, as the old saying goes, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So that the minister was trying to angle our minds as servants of the people. Don't go out there and think that you did something because you gave somebody a blanket or you gave somebody a turkey dinner. Do something that can empower them, that they can get up out of their condition and do for self. And then, of course, you know that right now there's a little over 1 million black boys playing high school basketball in the United States of America. All of them are aspiring to be in the NBA.
They sure are.
But out of that 1 million, only 35,000 of them will even go to college and play basketball. And out of that 35,000, only 7 of them will be able to secure a starting job in the NBA. So you got 1 million black boys competing for 7 full-time jobs. I don't know about you, but that sounds like bad math to me. So what the minister was telling us in 2016, and of course in many of his messages, is that God doesn't create hoopers. Anybody that you see proficient in a sport, that is just the result of the natural willpower, focus, fight, drive, and discipline that they have built in them or that they were trained to acquire. But they are born to be something bigger than that. So whatever you see LeBron doing on the court, he could do better than that in a different field. Whatever you see Ezekiel Elliott doing on the football field, he can do even more in the engineering field or the field of chemistry. So the minister is telling us to make sure that when we invest our energy, do something for nation building. Find a transferable trade that you can involve yourself in, that whether you're in power or the white man is in power, you'll be able to do something good for your people and not become a $40 million slave.
Brother Nuri, when I first heard the minister speak, but isn't it about the bag at all costs? Don't we need this money to help with the community?
Not at all costs, you know, and I'll say it in these words, just as Jesus saying this. He said, what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world, but he lost his soul? So the spiritual bank account with God is more important than the physical bank account with man. Do you need money? Yes. You know, there's a verse in the Bible in Ecclesiastes 10:19. It says that a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh one merry, but money answereth all things. So, you know, money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen, if that makes any sense. The problem, though, whenever we say the bag, by any means necessary, now we're saying that we'll do anything for it. And we have to be careful. Anytime you meet a person that will do or that thinks that money is everything, they'll normally do anything for it, including violating laws, rules, and their own people. So, by any means in accordance with the law, that doesn't compromise your morals or your integrity or take advantage of other people or trot on their rights as a human being, by any means other than that, we have to have the bag. But technically, we do have it. We have the bag.
We do.
1.3, listen to me, trillion dollars came through black people's hands in 2020. 1.1 trillion came in 2019 and 2018. That makes black people in America, in the scale of comparing us to 226 nations on earth, we are the 8th richest nation on the planet if we was independent. Right. Mexico only brought in 637 billion. Spain only brought in 700 billion. Mexico got 130 million people, taking care of a 700,000 square mile landmass. Spain got 46 million people. They taking care of 208,000 square mile landmass. They got all that land, the same amount of black people that's in America, 46 million in Spain. Mexico has triple that. Yet they are able to maintain an independent nation with half the money we have. So something wrong. Something wrong. So it's not that we need more. It's that we have to use it better. We got the dollars. We just need the sense that goes with the dollar. We've become the leaders in unnecessary spending. You know, that's buying stuff we don't need from people that we don't like to impress people that we don't even know. That's our problem. So we spending money that we don't have. We're doing things, and we are consumers. So when the math is done, $1.3 trillion, yet we still only have 2% of the wealth. And, you know, income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is when you exchange your time to earn money. Right. But wealth is what you exchange that money for that either keeps its value or increases in value over time. We're spending our money on stuff that doesn't keep its value or increase in value over time. So we got the dollars. We just need the sense. Technically, as a people, we already have gotten the bag. We just got to know how to use what we have in that bag a little bit better.